Once upon a time in South Sulawesi, Indonesia, there lived a sweet couple that had been married for many years but had not yet been blessed with children. Day and night, the couple prayed for little ones to join their family. But, sadly, their prayers had not been answered by the time they reached middle age. In their desperation, they cried out to God.
God, please, grant us a child even if it is in the form of a shrimp.
We just want a child to love and cherish.
Much to their surprise, their prayers were answered. 9 months later, the wife gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, but...
Oh, my dear husband, why is our precious child in the shape of a shrimp?
My dear wife, why are you so surprised? Didn't we ask God for a child even though it was in the form of a shrimp?
The couple was shocked but overjoyed and grateful, so they embraced their son and named him I Laurang, which means shrimp man. I Laurang was loved and cherished despite his unusual form. He lived in a jar and was unable to walk properly because of his shell-covered legs. Despite his confinement, he was curious about the world and dreamed of love and adventure. He was aware of developments out there because his mother often told him about them. One of them was about the king who had 7 beautiful daughters. As time went on, I Laurang grew older but was still filled with excitement at the thought of the king's daughters. One afternoon, when I Laurang's parents were relaxing over tea, he announced his dream with great enthusiasm.
Mom, Dad, I'm going to marry one of the king's daughters. Please, please, please.
His parents were initially hesitant, concerned about rejection. However, his unwavering resolve ultimately won them over. Together, they braved the royal palace to plead their son's case, hoping for the best. The king, renowned for his wisdom, extended a warm welcome to the couple and considered their request with great care. He was a kind and fair ruler. Then the king said with a warm smile,
I'll ask my children first if they'd be willing to marry your son.
The king then asked his 7 daughters if any of them wanted to be married to I Laurang. The answer from the king's eldest daughter was of course no, as well as the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th daughters. However, the youngest daughter had a different perspective. She expressed her willingness to marry I Laurang, despite his appearance. I Laurang's parents were overjoyed to hear that answer. They rushed home to tell I Laurang the fantastic news.
My son, we have the best news. I am so happy to tell you that the king's youngest daughter has accepted your proposal. Your wish is going to come true very soon. Son, are you okay?
Upon hearing the news, I Laurang was overjoyed, and he didn't even notice that he was emerging from the shrimp shell. His parents were instantly amazed because their son was a very handsome young man. When the wedding day finally arrived, the revelers were absolutely delighted by the handsome man who married the king's youngest daughter. They were absolutely astounded to find out that the man was I Laurang, whom they had scorned because he had an appearance like a shrimp. The 6 siblings were jealous of their youngest sister's husband because they didn't expect I Laurang to be so handsome and dashing. They immediately started making evil plans to get rid of their sister. The evil plan finally got its chance when I Laurang was assigned to sail to the other side. Before departing, I Laurang conveyed a message and 2 items to his wife. The message was,
Be careful with your 6 siblings, and please carry this beetle nut and egg I gave you with you at all times.
I will, my love, don't worry, you two be safe.
Shortly after I Laurang left, the 6 siblings acted like they were inviting the youngest princess to chill on a cliff that looked out over the sea. However, while they seemed to be enjoying the moment, one of them pushed the youngest princess off a high cliff, and ended up falling into the ocean. But, thanks to divine intervention, the youngest princess survived this ordeal. She remembered I Laurang's message to plant beetle nut at the bottom of the sea, and it would grow into a big tree that would rise above the water. The egg that broke when she fell into the water became big, and the eggshell was for the youngest princess to take refuge in. After sailing for some time, I Laurang returned home to find his wife in the middle of the sea. To his surprise, She was in the form of a chicken perched on a betel nut tree,
I
calling for
Laurang, my
him.
husband I Laurang.
Heartbroken but determined, he sets out to save his wife. Then on the boat he recited an ancient spell, and she returned to her human form. Together they plotted to expose the treachery of her sisters. On the way home to palace, just before the ship was about to dock, I Laurang gave his wife a big hug and told her to hide in a big chest with a few small holes in it. He gave her a big needle, smiling warmly as he said,
Later, if anyone tries to lift the chest, just poke their body with the needle, okay?
When the ship docked at the harbor, the royal family came to welcome I Laurang with open arms. The 6 sisters also attended, and they were overjoyed to see I Laurang back. In their hearts, they were curious about something: who among them I Laurang would choose to be his wife. I Laurang, who had learned of the sisters' mischievous plan, pointed to a chest and said to them,
I would love to find someone who can carry this chest. If you're that person, I'm your man.
When they heard I Laurang's explanation, they competed to lift the chest. The first turn went to the oldest sister. She tried to lift the heavy chest, but it remained motionless on the ground. Her hands trembled with effort. Next it was the second sister's turn. She crouches near the chest and grasps its edges. She writhes in pain, as if stabbed by something sharp. The third, fourth and fifth sisters also try to lift the chest, but they all shake their hands in pain after trying. Finally, the sixth sister, her hands shaking as she hesitates to touch it. Then, with a hint of disappointment, I Laurang stepped forward and said,
Unfortunately, since none of you succeeded, it seems that you all did not manage to become my wives.
I Laurang gave the king, his parents, and all the royal families a clear explanation of why he needed to play this game. He also revealed the contents of the chest as the guard opened it. Then, he helped his wife come out from the chest. The 6 sisters thought they'd killed their youngest princess. Scared and embarrassed, they ran away and hid. The oldest hid by the door. The second and third hid in the kitchen. The fourth and fifth hid outside the palace. The sixth hid near the well. In a heartwarming turn of events, the king's youngest daughter was chosen as the new queen, taking the place of the king who was growing old. The 6 soldier sisters, who had hearts less than pure, were transformed into servants in the palace, dedicated to supporting and serving their new queen. The eldest sister, who was hiding at the door, kindly welcomed visitors on behalf of the palace. The second and 30th sisters, who had been hiding in the kitchen, prepared meals for the entire family. The fourth and fifth sisters, who had run out of the palace, worked hard in the palace fields, planting and harvesting rice. The sixth sister, who had run to the palace, served as a laundryman, keeping the palace's clothes fresh and clean. I Laurang lived happily with the new queen, who was as beautiful as a flower and kind as can be. Her 6 sisters continued to work as servants in the palace. Always remember to be kind, brave, and believe in yourself. True love and kindness can overcome any challenge, even jealousy. Be courageous and keep your heart pure to overcome cruelty and deceit. Thank you for watching to a bedtime story from Queen Cozy Tales. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe to our channel so you can enjoy more of our enchanting and amazing tales. Stay cozy, sweet dreams.
Handsome man.